You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
No one, as far as we can tell, has ever said there's too much nightlife here in DeKalb. And if you're under the age of 21, you can't even go into a place that serves alcohol. Good evening, I'm Ryan Mack, and thanks for joining us.
And I'm Emily Neely. But students here at NIU are trying to follow a trend begun at other schools to change city law and allow under 21s into bars at night, even if they can't drink. And you might be surprised to know that leading the say is our own student association.
The sound of fresh beer opening is always pleasing to the ear. Transfer student Jordan McClintock likes to enjoy his ice cold.
I think it would be fun. There'd be more people there, but I don't know if there's a way that they can contain them from not drinking.
But some new people may be joining Jordan at these bars, 20-year-olds. The Student Association is pushing hard to allow 20-year-olds into bars like Fatty's and Rosy's. Some younger people like this idea.
The bars would be like more popular and stuff, since not only can just people over 21 can go, but if you're 20 you can go too. So that's going to mean more people at the bars, which means the bars are probably going to be more fun.
Yet the city of DeKalb isn't moving its stance on the proposal. ESSEC continues to research universities that allow 20-year-olds to enter, like U of I and WIU. Some of the concerns being raised by opponents of the bill include alcohol consumption and drunk driving.
I don't know, if there's more people going to the bars, it would be a lot better business. It'll give kids more things to do on the weekends, as long as kids are careful, you know?
Some of the research done by the Student Association points to positive results on campuses the policy is active. No decision has been reached yet, but the policy is gaining support. In DeKalb, for NTC News, I'm Ray Bolanos.
Mayor John Ray has announced that he is willing to talk with NIU students to talk about lowering the bar entry age.
If you live in Sycamore, your sewage bill will be going up by more than half of what you're paying now. Beginning in spring, your bill will increase by nearly 20%, and then additional increases will kick in over 3 years. You'll still be paying less than your neighbors in DeKalb, but that money is going towards a new wastewater treatment plant. The new plant will be able to clean more gallons of water than the one before it.
General Electric Small Motors has closed its doors in DeKalb after nearly 70 years. The company says that DeKalb Motors plant was 20 to 30% more expensive than their competitors. Last year, GE originally announced it was planning to close. The union was given 60 days to submit a proposal to keep the company open. Almost 90 workers are being affected by the closure.
If you're a Metra commuter, save yourself some money and buy your ticket ahead of time. If you wait and buy your ticket on board the train, it will now cost you an extra $5 from the original fee of $3. This is part of Metra's plan to increase efficiency by discouraging you from tying up the conductors.
Animal lovers of DeKalb can feel a sense of relief as the Tails Humane Society has begun the process for a new dog exercise building. The building will allow for the dogs to exercise and play together while keeping both them and the volunteers sheltered from inclement weather. The estimated cost of the building is $84,000. The plan is to have it completed by March. They soar over the landscape, proud and grand, but the bald eagle is more than a symbol of America's majesty.
They represent a remarkable comeback in environmental along the Illinois River. So much so that they've become a source of fascination for NIU students looking for a weekend getaway. Even in the blistering cold, the annual Eagles Festival at Starved Rock brings in thousands of people. While hikers hike through the mud and puddles, most gather at the lodge. Children soak in the fun, making hats and learning about birds. Many bird watchers gather on the observation deck with high-powered scopes for the chance to spot a bald eagle. This year is director Tom Clay's 9th year directing the festival.
You get caught up in the spirit when you come here and you see the little ones and they're making their eagle hats and they're going outside and they're seeing eagles flying over. And I think it's kind of a little contagious.
While hardcore eagle watchers gather outside on the deck, many bird lovers venture indoors. There they can read up on information about eagles or play interactive games. Some people waited in line for the live raptor show.
education is kind of the point of the day and having fun. We try to keep the costs way down. In fact, the tickets to the Raptor shows are free. You know, we try to encourage families and folks to come and, you know, to be our future stewards.
The Illinois Audubon Society has set up the Eagles Festival at Starved Rock for the past 18 years, and the information tables have gotten bigger every year. Most tables are set up by volunteers from the Audubon Society. One table was there from the Illinois DNR with a giant Asian carp to inform people about the invasive species. But running this event takes management and coordination, something that Assistant Director Joe Facette can handle.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of stress the day of because you want everybody to have a good time. You want to make sure all the exhibitors feel taken care of and make sure all the volunteers behave and do their job.
The Audubon Society plans on having the Eagles Festival the same time next year. For NTC News, I'm Ryan Mack. Starved Rock is also hosting Bald Eagle trolley tours throughout the month.
Back here on campus, if you rely on the Husky bus system, changes may be coming. The Student Association announced possible changes to the routes, design, and tracking system. The changes are part of the master plan thesis, which includes the tearing down of Douglas Hall in order to extend Lucinda Avenue. The NIU Student Association says they will listen to students' ideas about the routes.
Speaking of NIU transportation, those Husky pups that were introduced last semester have been stuck in the garage. The Husky pups have been stored away for the winter. The batteries normally last 7 to 10 hours, but during the cold, the batteries will shut down within minutes. The same thing will happen every winter, making the school want to bring them back in the spring. Marketing has discussed how to get the word out to students on routes when they return after spring break. The Student Association is trying to find alternatives to help students during the cold months.
I'm sure students would like to see...
If we're going to be out every winter, you know, what kind of service, what other services can we provide students as far as transportation?
I'm sure students would like to see some new ideas to help them avoid some of those low temperatures that have hit us lately.
Even with the cold, we should be lucky not to be in New England right now, the way they're getting hammered with snow. Emery Dhanens is here with us now. What's going on over there, Emery?
Well, another weekend and another major snowstorm on the East Coast. The latest system to sweep Boston, yet another foot on top of 6 feet that has already fallen over the last month. Now, exceptionally cold air, perhaps the coldest in years, is moving into the area, bringing strong winds along with it, creating drifts and complicated ongoing cleanup efforts. Now let's take a look back at our local weather to see what's going on in our area for tomorrow. There's a few areas with a chance of flurries and some clouds and highs ranging from the mid-teens to 20s. For more on the extended weather forecast, stay with us. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed your Valentine's Day weekend. It was pretty cold out there. In fact, it was one of the top 5 coldest Valentine's Days in the past century, so hopefully you made it through that. Today, we did see some sunshine, and we're expecting a high of about 17 degrees, and overnight, we're going to dip down to a low of about 5. However, winds are picking up, so we will feel a lot colder than that. In fact, if you're out earlier today, most of Illinois felt as cold as about 0 degrees, and you can see it felt as cold as 30 degrees down into Texas, so they're probably not used to that. Tonight, we do have a little bit of a relief as this warm front passes through our area, which will keep temperatures tomorrow pretty similar to today. And also note this intense low pressure system off the East Coast with all this rain and snow. Luckily, we're not over there. And then later this week, unfortunately, that low pressure will move off the east and the cold front will come through our area, bringing chances of snow for DeKalb. Moving back to tonight, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions with a chance of flurries possible after midnight and an overnight low of about 5, but those winds are picking up to 5 to 10 miles per hour, so it's going to feel like it's -9 degrees out tonight. And tomorrow we have more of the same, more clouds, high of 16, but it'll feel much colder than that with these gusting up to 20 miles per hour, making it feel as if it's only -8. So do be sure to bundle up tomorrow. And then Tuesday night is probably the worst of this week, where again we have more clouds, a chance of snow, and also again overnight low of about 0, but those winds are still gusting to 20 miles per hour, so it'll feel as if it's -18 degrees outside. So bundle up if you have to go out on Tuesday night. Be safe because it will get pretty darn cold. Moving on to the 7-day weather forecast. Again, Tuesday, chance of snow, high of 16. Then Wednesday and Thursday, as that low or cold front moves through our area, we'll have those highs in only the single digits and overnight lows in the sub-zero range. And then for the weekend, temperatures will begin to increase a little bit, and next week we'll see starting off with sunny skies. So hopefully it continues to be that way for the rest of next week. That's all for weather. Let's send it back to the desk.
Canadians say a woman involved in a mass murder plot is from our area.
And police body cameras are making their way to Chicago. Here's what's happening in today's State Lines.
Police in Canada say one of the people involved in a mass murder plot is a woman from nearby Geneva, Illinois. 23-year-old Lindsay Suvanarath is suspected of taking part in a foiled plot to carry out an attack at a mall in Halifax, Nova Scotia. She's been charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
Some Chicago police officers are testing body cameras as part of a 90-day pilot program that began last month. Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy says the program is off to a great start and has the potential to help the public understand how police officers work. About 30 officers in one patrol district are using them. Taser International is providing the cameras for Chicago's pilot program.
Federal authorities say allowing imprisoned former Dixon comptroller Rita Crundwell to keep trophies won during those horse competitions allow her to benefit from theft. Crundwell is serving 20 years in federal prison for stealing nearly $54 million from the city over 2 decades. She was ordered to pay it back in restitution. Federal officials say the awards represent the primary motivation of her massive fraud.
The American Civil Liberties Union has asked a federal judge to order the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services to immediately start enacting court-ordered reforms. The ACLU says it has asked the agency to address shortages of placements and services for the children in DCFS custody. And those are today's State Lines.
Egypt is the latest to vow revenge on the Islamic State.
And a weekend of terror in Denmark. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
Egypt is retaliating after Islamic State terrorists in neighboring Libya beheaded more than a dozen Coptic Christians. Egypt's military said it bombed several ISIS targets. The terror group released a grisly video that appeared to show Egyptian Christians captured last month being beheaded on a Libyan beach.
Authorities in Denmark believe they've killed the man responsible for 2 deadly gun attacks in Copenhagen over the weekend. They believe the man attacked a freedom of speech event where 1 person was killed. He escaped and later murdered a guard outside a synagogue. Police eventually confronted him outside this apartment building, where he was killed in a gun battle.
Eastern Ukraine's fragile ceasefire is almost a day old, but pro-Russia separatists and government forces have both reported violations. But one monitoring group and the Ukraine military say the truce is largely being upheld. Hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainian troops trapped inside one city appear to be holding their positions.
A resolution looks increasingly unlikely over a new Greek financial bailout deal. On Sunday, thousands of Greeks took to the streets of Athens to show their support for the government's anti-austerity policy. But Greece's prime minister says he will be confident that a new deal will be reached. And that's today's World Watch.
Welcome to NTC Sports. I'm Dane Kenny. Yes, Valentine's Day was 2 days ago, but there was no love lost between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Blackhawks win the faceoff and they kick the puck out to Nicholas Jalmerson as he whips this wicked slap shot past Fleury that puts the Hawks up 1-0. Now, Bo Bennett of the Pens works his way up the ice and gets off a shot. No good, but Nick Spaulding controls the rebound and beats Corey Crawford for the goal. Shootout time, Patrick Kane pulls off this move I like to call the okey doke and scores. That's an okey doke if I've ever seen one, folks. Now the Penguins try to take the lead in the shootout, but Crawford says, sorry, son, not today. Now, if Patrick Sharp scores this goal right here, the Blackhawks win. So guess what he does? Yes, he scores. Marc-Andre Fleury goes absolutely bananas. Hawks win in shootout. All-Star Weekend has just concluded as we watch the premier stars of the NBA put on one amazing show. No one stood taller than rookie Zach LaVine Saturday night. This youngster is 19 years old. He can't even order a drink at Fatty's, but he can sure do this. Whoa, talk about defying the laws of physics, folks. Whew. LaVine looks to top his first dunk with this second dunk right here. Oh, I think he did it. Watch him wrap the ball around his back in super slow motion. Unreal. This dunk is the cherry on top of an unbelievable dunk contest performance right here. Who says the slam dunk contest is on the decline? Zach LaVine is your champion and becomes the second youngest dunk contest winner ever. All-Star games are notorious for the display of defense, or should I say, their lack of. Last night was no different as you see John Wall fading out of bounds as he throws a lob pass to LeBron James, and he does the rest. Later in the first quarter, Steph Curry says, I'll take that, thank you, oh, and here you go. The beard certainly approves of that. From here on out, this game becomes the Russell Westbrook show as we see him throw down a pair of dunks right here, and this very last one coming after this missed three-pointer comes down as time expires. Boom, look at that. There is another okey-doke sighting, folks, as Steph Curry takes a page out of Patrick Kane's book, and Dirk Nowitzki gets real weird as he throws down this alley-oop dunk. There were 321 combined points scored, which is an all-star game record. The Western Conference comes out on top. Today's play of the day takes place on the grass as Barcelona takes on Levante. Barcelona has a mammoth-sized lead, but that doesn't mean that's going to stop them from scoring some sick goals now. Adriano has a sharp cross pass, and Luis Suarez takes off the training wheels and lands this gnarly bicycle kick. Let's watch the replay and truly appreciate his handiwork. Wow. And that is today's play of the day. Well, that's all for sports. We will catch you next time with a whole new slate of highlights. So long, everyone.
Delivery services like Amazon have tried to start using drones to deliver packages.
Personally, I would love to see my orders delivered to me by a drone, but federal law has held up that idea. The Federal Aviation Administration has proposed new rules on the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones. Almost all commercial drone use is banned in the United States, but new regulations proposed by the FAA would relax restrictions. Drones weighing up to 55 pounds would be allowed. Operators would have to keep the devices within sight and avoid hazardous like people and airports. They must stay below 500 feet and fly slower than 100 miles an hour. Those kinds of heights and speeds would lead to some quick deliveries.
We might not be too far from getting these packages within minutes of ordering.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back this same time Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everyone.